If the DC Cinematic Universe is like a sports team, then there's a lot of free agents out there that we can collect. Hey movie fans, we are 3 films deep into the DC Cinematic Universe, and love them or hate them, I don't think they're going away anytime soon. Me personally, I think that's a great idea. Hopefully they'll continue to get better as they learn from their mistakes and grow upon the good elements. But in order to do that, you need good directors behind the camera to really carry those movies and franchises that you really want to grow and become the next Marvel rival. Who are 5 directors that DC, for some reason or another, hasn't brought into their universe just yet, but should? That's what I'm going to count down today. And I'll add a stipulation. For every director that I mention, I'll say the project that I think they should be attached to because I think it'll best fit their abilities. At number 5, I'll start with Joe Carnahan, the man behind The Grey, Smokin' Aces, and the remake of The A-Team. His brand of action really works, but he also gets characters. Say what you want about The A-Team or The Grey. They had really good, compelling characters, and he really got behind them, and it was a very good ensemble cast in all of those. Yes, you had the one main character that you rooted for and got behind, but there was also a good ensemble cast as well. So, with Joe Carnahan's style of humor at times, but very good mind for action, as well as some very witty dialogue, where do I think he fits in the best? The Green Lantern Corps movie. Now, I don't know if we have a director for that, but I know we're getting a Green Lantern movie. Now, I know that's far down on the slate, so I don't think we have a director yet, but DC, keep an eye on Joe Carnahan. At number 4, I'll go with George Miller, the director of all the Mad Max movies. George Miller has come into a bit of a renaissance as of late with his smash hit Mad Max Fury Road that turned a whole bunch of heads. They're like, holy cow, this franchise is back from the dead. Now, George Miller is a great director. Now, sure, he doesn't have a whole lot of credits to his name, but he was actually already attached to a DC project way back when, even before this DC Cinematic Universe, about 10 years ago even. What was he tapped to direct? A Justice League movie. Now, it would have been very bizarre. It would have starred Armie Hammer as Batman, and it would have been different Batman than Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, which was in 2005. This movie was starting to wrap around 2006 is when they're starting to go into production, so yeah, we would have had 2 Batmans at the same time. However, I thought George Miller would have been a good choice for it because he is a good director. He's one of those that doesn't direct very often, but when he does, it's something special. So, if he were to come on to DC, what would I have him direct? Honestly, I'd give him another shot with Justice League. Obviously, Zack Snyder's directing the first Justice League, but there's going to be more than one Justice League movie. Duh, because cha-ching. So I would have him tap at least one of the later Justice League movies, whether that's the second one or the third one or whatever. How many ever Justice League movies we're going to get? At least one of them should be directed by George Miller. For number 3, we go to the more humorous side with Edgar Wright. Now, Edgar Wright is the comedic mind behind Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, and Shaun of the Dead. He's got this really quirky directorial style that really maximizes the amount of laughs you can get from a movie. He really knows how to tell jokes from a movie and really make it stand out than every other comedy today. He's a very good comedic storyteller, and I would love to see more of a comedic take in the DC Cinematic Universe, as a lot of people, myself included, have often criticized it as of late of being a little bit too dark. I'm all for dark storytelling, but when all of your characters are dark and brooding, it's not that interesting. The only character that can get away with that is Batman. I don't want all the characters to be dark and brooding and... I would love to have a genuinely funny comic book DC movie. So what character do I think Edgar Wright is best suited for if he were to direct a DC movie? Booster Gold. Now hear me out. Booster Gold is a hero from the future that has all this fancy technology. He doesn't actually have any superpowers, I don't think. And he's basically, if superheroes were a billboard. Like, he's got this big cheesy smile, he's always wanting the cameras to be on him, he's very narcissistic. He's just goofy because he looked up to the heroes of old, like Superman, of Batman, because they're ancient legends where he comes from, the future, obviously. And so he wants to be like them, but he wants the attention of a hero. And so it's really bizarre. It's so out there and different from a lot of other DC heroes, but at its core, Booster Gold does have a heart of gold. So I would love to see a more comedic take, maybe like a Nathan Fillion who has that comedic bone, but as well as just a likable personality. Because at the end of the day, Booster Gold has this need for attention, but he's not a jerk. You still like him, you're still entertained by him, you're just like, okay. At number 2, we have the highest profile name on this list, J.J. Abrams. Yes, I know he just finished doing Star Wars Episode 7, and that's a Disney movie. Go with me, they're owned by the same company. But I honestly could see him doing a movie for DC. The rumors on the internet right now are that he's one of the names being floated around to direct a Man of Steel 2, which they have confirmed is coming. I don't peg him for Man of Steel 2, though. I'll get to what I think he'll direct in a bit, but more on why we need J.J. Abrams in the DC Cinematic Universe. He's very, very good at ensembles, and a lot of DC stories are ensemble stories. J.J. Abrams makes fun movies, and that's really what I want from a DC movie, is to be a lot of fun, with good, memorable characters, all pretty evenly balanced for who gets the good attention. Even in non-action adventure movies like Super 8 that J.J. Abrams directed, all the individual characters and cast of it are really memorable and get good screen time, but not one overshadowing the other. So, an ensemble movie, with everyone getting about even amount of time, what should J.J. Abrams direct? Oh, I know. Teen Titans. Yeah, we need a Teen Titans movie in our lives. I've heard talk that maybe, just maybe, the upcoming Cyborg movie might be turned into a Teen Titans movie, to which I would totally be on board with that. The recent Netflix show, Stranger Things, showed that people like seeing child actors, so long as those child actors are good, written well, and all around are decent human beings and act like actual kids their age. And I think Teen Titans could work as long as you get the right characters. And there's a huge following of both Teen Titans and Young Justice out there that if you wanted to do these stories, I think you could absolutely do it. So, who's the number one director that I want in the DC Cinematic Universe, and what should he direct? Brad Bird needs to be in the DC Cinematic Universe. What has he done? The Incredibles, Iron Giant, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and Tomorrowland, which I don't know about Tomorrowland being a positive, but I bet I can spin it. Just give me a second. So, why would I get Brad Bird? Honestly, because he's a good storyteller. Even look at Tomorrowland. At its core, it's an interesting story. It's the whole bottom half that falls out, but its concept is very, very solid and promising. And another factor that I would really consider with Brad Bird movies is all of them have a good, uplifting message at them by the end of the movie, or even throughout the movie. It's generally a main theme. With Incredibles, it was family. With Iron Giant, it was friendship and sacrifice. With Mission Impossible, it's don't screw with Tom Cruise. With Tomorrowland, it's be inventive and don't let anything limit you. It's this attaining a greater goal and being positive. He always has this uplifting type of spirit to his movies. Like, he is genuinely a creative and imaginative person and a great storyteller that I'm always interested in what stories he's going to be telling next. So, with this more uplifting and positive attitude and just general knowledge of how to tell a good action story and even a superhero story with The Incredibles in his past over a decade ago, what would Brad Bird be the best at directing? Man of Steel 2, or just Superman 2, because Superman needs to be positive. That's a lot of people's gripes with both Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, is that he's very mopey and downtrodden. I can see where Zack Snyder is potentially going with maybe he becomes happier and his spirits are lifted after he goes 6 feet under. But I don't know. I would have liked... I'm all for a character's journey, but there really wasn't too much of a journey for Superman. He kind of had a journey in Man of Steel, then kind of stepped back down for Batman v Superman. But I think with Brad Bird, who, looking at Iron Giant alone, likes Superman, as the Iron Giant was kind of modeled after a Superman figure, I think he'd be great to tell a Superman story, and one that we really have needed for a while, of essentially an uplifting character, because at its core, that's what the world needs, and that's what Superman needs to be, is a beacon of hope for the world. And we didn't really get that in Man of Steel, but with Brad Bird's directorial style, he's very uplifting, and the world will get better. Just be the best version of you can be, and if everyone does that, they can make the world a better place, which is essentially the motto of Superman. He's just like, truth, justice, in the American way, but be the best version of you can be. He's always got a smile on his face, and he will do basically whatever it takes to make sure everyone around him is safe, and he's that good old Boy Scout. People make fun of him, but that's an old school tradition. It's the same as Captain America, except Captain America has had a good adaptation in the modern day. And I think Brad Bird can do a fantastic modern interpretation of Superman, a more hopeful and more optimistic and overall more friendly version of Superman that we all know and love is out there, but we haven't seen yet. Well, what do you guys think? What director should join the DC Cinematic Universe, and what should they direct? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you see and want to see more, subscribe to the channel, or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Uncharted Media. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals!